Good morning. Thanks for joining us. My name is Dirk Schumer. I'm the sales manager for what we call EMEA North, the region, and I'm here with my sales engineer, Klaus Gretenkort. And like every year, we want to tell you a little bit about Opengear and out of band. And this time, so this time the question is, why is smart out of band so much more than just the safety or the security for you if something goes wrong in your network? Because many people know out of band or have heard about out of band just in the sense of if something goes wrong in your network, the solution can help you. But there's so much more that you can do with a solution like that. And we are going to show you what that means.
So wait a moment. The first is, I want to talk just about what we will show today. That's the why. Typically, I'm a sales engineer and I have presentations with bits and bytes, with appliances, with portfolios, everything. But as we got this theme, why smart out-of-band management, we didn't have really slides for this, or nothing was really fits in technical presentations. And now we have created very shortly just a presentation just for here to explain the why you need this or will need this. And so there's no marketing inside. There's just on one end, the facts, what we can provide. We know this because we are part of the company. On the other hand, we have the reaction and the information from our customers, which are coming back to us, talk to their life with our system and how often they save their assets, I would say, for their belongings in their daily work. And therefore, we have made this presentation to reflect both sides. On one end, we know our facts. On the other end, the information are really facts from the user of our system. Now it's yours.
So basically no marketing bullshit, okay? So just, I'm not going to read all this because, well, that is marketing bullshit, but basically, basically Opengear, that's our mission statement, basically. So Opengear, we are an American company. We're about 180 people. We only do out of band. We don't do anything else. No PDUs, no power, no racks or anything like that. And out of this 180 people, 70 are working in engineering, and I'm pointing this out because this is very important. It shows that there's a lot of effort going into the engineering and development and roadmap of our company, right?
Okay. The description here is just what we are doing. And if you see the middle part, our platform combines hardware, so that's our boxes at the end, in combination, if you need it, with our central management, which just creates some more possibilities in combination than you ever thought. And we will explain this here during the presentation, like as smart management fabric, connected resource gateways. What does it mean? It will come a little bit later. But what we are showing here and telling here is not just serial. That's what I want to say.
Okay, so in general, what is out of band, right? For those who may have not heard about this. If something goes wrong in your network, core switch is down or some other bad things happen and your network is no longer available, what do you do? right? You can send somebody on site, which takes a lot of cost and time, or you can use an out-of-band solution, which gives you a secure and independent path to this network, which is down, even though that the network is down. Right? That's the important thing to mention here.
I would take this. So that's typical what's happened. Every minute of your network downtime costs you money and the risk of loss of reputation. Reputation means on one end, you as an administrator, if you have messed up something, it's part of your reputation. Or as a company, if you are a service provider and you cannot deliver the services, what you have promised, you will lose the reputation. Therefore, or we have put some examples inside, but this is not happen in the enterprise area. This is also happen for smaller customers, for every customer, I would say, because we are getting the response from the administrators. Last time it was on the fair on the Cisco Live. We had the booth there and administrators coming to us and telling me what really was happened, what saved their life, because by accident they have messed up something and the production network was down and they were able to repair this in a very, very short term, that everything is going up. It's not nice, but they had the chance to do this. And that's why out-of-band management is so important. You can react immediately if something happens because you have a second path to your system and to areas in your system which are definitely still working. So it means the network is down. That does not mean that the serial port is down. So you have the possibility to go in the system, repair the system, and then from everywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where the system is.
Well, that's basically an example of what just Klaus explained, right? You have something happening in your network in the middle of the night. The network admin gets a call at 2 a.m. in the morning, and then what do you do normally if you don't have a solution like this, right? You get out of your bed, put on your suit or your stuff, go in the car or on a plane or on the train or whatever, and go to a location which takes time and cost, and then when your production side is down, you lose, as Klaus said, reputation towards your customers or internally to your company. And you're also in the risk, if you're a service provider, for example, to not meet your SLAs towards your customer, right? Because you don't know what's going on. You have no visibility in your network. You don't know why it happened if you don't have an out-of-band solution. So you're going to your data center or to your remote location basically blind and not knowing what actually caused the network issue.
And Murphy's Law, I would say, typically maybe 2 a.m. in the morning, but it can also Friday afternoon at 4, where the traffic is really high and you have the problem to reach your data center as well. So definitely Murphy's Law, and this will happen sometimes.
So what we are suggesting is that, or we used to have a CEO who unfortunately is no longer, and a CTO who is no longer with the company, but he always used to say, don't try to manage your network through your network, right? Which basically means if you have a production network, don't try to manage this network through your production network, because if your production network is down, then you don't have any access to your network anymore. Try to set up something in parallel or as an alternative way to access your data center or your network, in case something happens, right? And through an out-of-band solution, through this alternative path or alternative network, you can still reach anything of any hardware equipment which is running in your network, switches, routers, firewalls, servers, whatever you have, right? So that's basically the story. And if you have multiple devices deployed in your network, make sure that you have a centralized management tool which gives you access to all the Opengear or out-of-band devices and the attached network devices, rather than trying to work each and every individual one, because that's an effort you don't need to take. There are solutions to make this much more comfortable. And in addition to your cable network, if you put in a management network in parallel to your production network, those solutions also offer a failover to cellular solutions. So you can have a device in your network which runs on cellular as well, and in case something happens to your cabling, you can still, as an admin, access your equipment through a cellular connection. So you log into our device through 4G, 5G, whatever is available, and access the network equipment through that path.
Okay. Okay, some key benefits here. On one end, with out-of-band management, your system is always available. So you have access to your infrastructure 24/7. So we add this here on the key benefits. Faster recovery, of course, if you can work, and this is a new trend, everybody, or many administrators during the night working from home. So they have the possibility, if something happens, they can act immediately. They have a faster recovery, of course. Therefore, by automation, lower cost. This because you do not need somebody in the background. It does not mean if you work on a production network that you have to travel, because maybe somebody else has to do this. And now you can save this stuff, I would say. More secure, we are supporting VPN connections in our smart out-of-band management, multi-factor authentication, encrypt sessions in this case. And the management is typically to get access is fully isolated. So you can be sure that you're on a secure site. End-to-end encryption is also possible from your workstation to the end targets to have a secure connection through smart out-of-band management. And then, of course, compliance is always a theme. It's not just to access, you have to be compliant as well. So on one end, we have full audit logs, for example, or the system should provide this. Role-based access, of course. We have ISO 27001, which we are certified for this, which gives you the possibility to work on this, as well as NIST. And VCAG as well, certificate, or we have to certificate this for Lighthouse as well. So that's one of our key benefits here.
One thing I want to add to the cost is, of course, you have to, if you want to use a solution, you have to buy it, right? And that is some cost as well. But typically, the estimation is that if you can save one trip of a service technician to a remote location, that already pays for the box you would put there. And all the follow-up activities basically run through the out-of-band network and are not free, of course, but the cost is already covered by not sending somebody on site.
Okay. On one end, of course, you have these big data centers, and you have everything placed there. And typically, smart out-of-band, people think about this data center, but there are a couple of more possibilities here. And this is from our customers. On one end, we have branch offices, or we have install base in branch offices, insurance, bank, financial institutes as well, retail locations, store warehouses, for example, industrial sites, telecommunication infrastructure, and edge computing, which is part of telecommunication. Think about these boxes on the street where fiber gets separated to the houses. That's not just a physical thing. So they're fully equipped with IT infrastructure, and they need access as well. And sometimes they specialized use cellular modems to have access before everything gets switched on, just for an example. And believe it or not, ships vessels are equipped with really extensive part of IT equipment, and we'll come with an example here. And they can be managed from shore. It is not necessary that you're on ships.
Yeah, and this is an actual customer of ours, and this is a nice story because AIDA, probably some of you heard about them. They have these huge cruise ships and take them around the world on the oceans. And I mean, it's just think about it, right? You have your thousands of passengers on the boat. You go somewhere across the Atlantic or the Pacific or whatever, and while you're out there and for 2 days there's no land or nothing around you, something happens to your network on the boat. What do? You have some network engineers on the boat, but let's say their capabilities are limited. And that's why AIDA came to us, actually on a Cisco Live 2 years ago, 2 years ago, and asked us if we could help them, right? If we could give them some equipment which they put on their boats while they're on the ocean and still access their data. So they always have 2 data centers and 6 to 8 fire zones on these boats. That we can help them to access their network equipment while they are on their main site in Rostock in Germany, for example. Yeah, so we did this. We actually sold them many of the boxes we have outside on the table, together with this centralized management. And within, I think, three months, they did the proof of concept. They did all the testings, and then they started ordering. But we like this example because everybody understands that if a ship is somewhere on the ocean, you cannot even just send somebody on a helicopter because it's too far out, right? But they still want a solution that helps them accessing their equipment. And it's not if just something breaks on the device, but it's also on the network device. It's also just in case, while they're out, some Cisco guys or whoever releases a new critical firmware which needs to go on those devices they're using on the boat right now. How do you do that? Well, other than having remote access, you can't do it. But with a solution like this, they can install this remotely from Germany on all their cruise ships and make sure that all the latest security patches or whatever it is installed on these devices on time.
Questions to this? No?
Pretty impressive, right? Yes, it is. Das ist dein Thema. Das ist dein Thema.
Smart out of band, a little thing what we have and can provide is automation and zero-touch operations. That does not mean that I talk here from our system, also from the attached IT equipment as well. Smart out-of-band platform supports modern automation and remote provisioning. Again, not just ours. For example, zero-touch provisioning can be our devices, and we have also the possibility through our system to hand this over to the target devices as well as automated configuration. Our system or the attached system, you see, it's not just serial. Remote scripting, orchestration, and all the things here. We have the possibility to automate our stuff and the attached appliances by network, by out-of-band network, exactly to get everything up and running by automation, because nobody wants to touch the target devices anymore. So you have a faster infrastructure rollout through our system and a secure ones. And you do not have to wait if a network switch is coming up and you can do the next step, because on the serial port you will see everything, or on the management port from the appliances you can also see very quickly what's going on there. You have, of course, then a reduced operational structure in this case, scalable network management, this comes in. It gives you all the function what you need to organize faster deployment.
Just as a simple example, just imagine you have a customer who is a bank or an insurance company, and they just want to open a new small branch office somewhere out there in the country. It's pretty easy. You don't even you get the equipment from your reseller, from your distributor. Though you don't even need to unpack them. You send them to the remote location. Somebody unpacks them. Yes, you need to plug in the cables. We cannot do that remotely. But all the rest, the configuration of the devices, the setup of the devices can be done all through zero-touch provisioning automatically. So you don't need somebody really sophisticated on site to do that. It can be all done remotely or even automatically, and that's the beauty of that. Yes,
okay.
It is. Like
Say it so. Zero touch, of course, it works, but you need a DHCP server. But we have also the possibility to smash an appliance out in the field, and all what you need is just an internet connection. It can just be by automation, a cellular connection. It can be a cable connection. But you do not need really the equipment for zero-touch provisioning. You do not need a DHCP server with the scripts, etc. We can do this, or we can manage this by ourselves if you want. So there's much more as just a simple zero-touch provisioning. If you have questions, come to us. We are outside.
Next level is, so far, when you talk about out-of-band, typically what you have in mind is, you have your Cisco switches or something, and they have a serial management port. So you connect the serial management port with a console server, with our device, and then have the connectivity about this connection. But what happens if you have network equipment that doesn't have any serial management port anymore? And then we come again to the topic, okay, you can do much more with a modern out-of-band system than with the typical ones, since 30 years. And Klaus will explain why.
Okay. The situation is that, or if I talk or have sessions with administrators and they're working, for example, on firewalls, they do not work on a cellular base. So they want to have web access to their system. They want to see what's going on, etc. And that's our second path. So we do not have just serial access. We have also the possible to have a dedicated network between our appliances, which ends up then on your network equipment. Even with cellular failover or cellular access if you want. And you can use then, again, this automation remediation, for example, scripts bringing out to the system, and helps you at least to have a full variety of access possibilities through a smart out-of-band system. Okay, it's me. The value of smart out-of-band management, how we provide this. You have continuously remote access, serial, or as well with a network access through a second system. Secure management, infrastructure, of course, operational resilience. I can just read this, what is rolling down. These are our daily work. As an administrator, as a sales engineer, I see this every day. I talk with customers every day, and that's exactly what's coming out. So smart out-of-band becomes a dedicated control plane for your IT infrastructure. That is what I see every day. And this is what I want to state here, of course. Me? Okay. Again, not just serial. And now I come with some product phrases here. For example, smart out-of-band. That's typical what you have with serial access over cellular, over cable. Then we have a smart management fabric. That is what we have in place 2 years ago. We can dynamically route networks between our appliances, and you have the possibility to use this as a second network if you want. Also, the connected resource gateway. We had just said that we have software like Lighthouse, and Lighthouse is doing the management here, and we spent an interface into Lighthouse. That's the connected resource gateway that you can reach the IT infrastructure from Lighthouse, from the central management as well. So you have an own part, you can set up a catalog. What do you want to reach? And you can reach then appliances like management ports from Lighthouse itself, from the administrator, as an administrator. So depends, again, resilience. You need this network access. Oh, we have 5 minutes. The rest you can read by yourself. Let's go. Otherwise, we will not get this in time. That's yours.
That's marketing bullshit again. So,
No. That's not marketing here. That's my one here.
Okay, that's his bullshit. No, but I want to show just one slide about the portfolio we have, and you see that it's not big. We don't have like a whole thousands of SKUs in our price list. It's really separated into 2 areas. On the left side, you see the branch office devices, so small port count, either devices which only have serial ports or devices which have a mix of serial and IP ports. So you can have this smart management fabric feature that Klaus explained. And on the right side and on the bottom, you have the devices in the 19-inch form factor, which do exactly the same. They have the same functionality. They run the same firmware. If you know one device, then you know how to handle all of them. Again, separated into devices which have only serial and a mix of serial and IP ports. And that's it, right? So it's very, very easy. And in the center, you see the Lighthouse, which is which runs on a virtual machine. It's a piece of software. Either runs in your network on-prem or in the cloud, and basically builds an umbrella on your single Opengear devices and gives you the central access and all the great stuff in terms of managing the Opengear devices as well as the connected network devices. Right? So again, that's the entire portfolio. No PDUs, no racks, no nothing as well. Any questions on that? We have a device on the table, which basically is a summary of what we are showing here, but we can tell you everything about this based on this one device we have.
So I found this phrase, and I like it very much because it described exactly what our system is doing. So it's delivered secure access during failures, and this is no longer optional. It is foundational to your resilience. And this is really, really important here. We are just a really, really small portion of costs from a complete data center. An HPC rack, an NVIDIA rack costs much more as our entire system in a data center. But it gives you the freedom, at least, to get access if something happened to your system and repair, if you need, it much more faster than you have to. Then you can travel to the system as well, or through the data center, or wherever it is. That's me.
Yeah, that's us, basically. So if you have any questions on that, please come to our table. And other than that, yeah, thank you for your attention and looking forward to some questions.